Welcome! If you clicked on this video, it's because you're ready to learn about 3 moments when the power of Iron Mike made him write his name in the golden pages of boxing history. But before continuing, I recommend discretion. The level of violence you're about to witness is unprecedented and, despite the years, has never been matched. Get comfortable because the show is about to begin. Mike Tyson versus Michael Spinks. The fight was billed as once and for all, a showdown between 2 undefeated fighters, each with a legitimate claim to the World Heavyweight Championship. Tyson was defending his IBF heavyweight title for the 4th time, his WBA heavyweight title for the 6th time, and his WBC heavyweight title for the 7th time. Meanwhile, Spinks was defending his heavyweight title from the Ring magazine for the 4th time. The winner of this bout would hold exclusive possession of the title. Mike's professional record of 34 wins, with 30 of them coming by way of knockout, was undoubtedly intimidating. Spinks, despite not holding an alphabet title coming into the fight, was regarded as the lineal world heavyweight champion, having defeated Larry Holmes for the title and never losing it in the ring. His record of 31 wins with 21 by knockout certainly seemed to threaten Iron Mike's undefeated status. But the fact that he hadn't fought in 12 months, the longest pause in his career, could work against him. On June 27, 1988, the fighters met in the ring at the Convention Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey to face their destiny. 12 rounds were scheduled, but it would take less than one to produce an outcome worthy of being immortalized in the history books of boxing. With Frank Cappuccino as the 3rd man in the ring, the bout began. Round 1. As soon as the opening bell rang, Tyson lunged at Spinks. At these early moments, Mike landed a left hook that connected with the top of Spinks' head. After the fight, Tyson claimed to have seen fear in Spinks' eyes after this initial taste of action. For Spinks, survival immediately became more important than victory. That's when he began to clinch Tyson. In the first clinch, Cappuccino intervened upon noticing that the laces of one of Tyson's gloves were pressing heavily against Spinks' throat.
And now Cappuccino.
After an awkward attempt to separate them, Spinks tried to back off when a left uppercut snapped his head back. Spinks hadn't even finished reacting to this nearly lethal punch when a short, spinning right hook caught him just below the heart. As a result, it marked the first knockdown of his professional career. Spinks fell to one knee, and Cappuccino had no choice but to start the standing count. He counted to the mandatory 8, only to ask Spinks if he was okay while staring directly into his eyes. After resuming the fight, Tyson renewed his attack. Spinks tried to defend himself with a right hand, but it lacked power and was executed sluggishly. Over that insecure right hand of Spinks, Tyson threw a left hook, targeting the shoulder. The momentum of Spinks' own punch caused his head to drop forward and downward, activating Mike's killer instinct as he unleashed a deadly right hand. This murder attempt traveled in an arc at waist level and caught Spinks at his strongest point, right on the jaw. Just look at this scene.
Michael Spinks has ever been down in a professional fight.
And he's down again.
No man could have withstood it. Immediately, Spinks' legs buckled and his eyes rolled back. Then, he fell backward with his arms outstretched. As Cappuccino started to count, Spinks tried to stand up, but once he began to rise, he collapsed onto his right side. By the time Cappuccino reached 10, Spinks' head was being held up by the bottom rope. Mike Tyson versus Donovan Ruddock II background. On March 18, 1991, Mike Tyson and Donovan Ruddock stepped into the ring at the Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, to set the stage for the main event between these 2 fighters. At the time, Tyson entered the fight as the #1 heavyweight contender for the WBC, WBA, and IBF, closely followed by Ruddock, who was ranked number 2. Richard Steele was supposed to referee 12 rounds of good boxing. However, just over half of these rounds were needed for a clear and painful victory by Iron Mike. After completely taming him in the earlier rounds, Tyson stopped Ruddock with a flurry of punches that made him stagger, leading Steele to decide that the Canadian couldn't withstand any more punishment from Mike's fists.
He threw his bomb. Oh, all right. Good shot. He just doesn't quite get there. There's a left by Ruddock. A left by Tyson. Taking some steam out of Tyson. Ruddock coming back. Now Tyson with a big left. Just then, Tyson has Ruddock on the rope. If Tyson applies the pressure, he's got him where he...
Thus, Tyson was declared the winner by TKO at 2 minutes and 22 seconds of the 7th round. The fight. On June 28, 1991, the long-awaited rematch took place. Once again, Mike entered the fight as the #1 heavyweight contender for the WBC, WBA, and IBF. Due to his previous loss, Ruddock's status had been affected. and he was only holding on to the number 2 heavyweight contender spot for the WBC. Once again, the fighters were set for 12 tough rounds of good boxing at the Mirage Hotel and Casino to prove, in the rematch, who the absolute winner was. With Mills Lane as the new referee, the fight began. Fight summary: Tyson wasted no time being aggressive from the start, cornering Ruddock on more than one occasion.
Tyson, but it was well covered. The jab. Big right by Tyson. He's got him in trouble. And they continue after the bell.
Ruddock was dramatically thrown to the canvas in the second and fourth rounds, which began to frustrate him. His frustration became evident at the end of the 8th round when he hit Mike after the bell, leaving Lane with no choice but to deduct a point.
Again, action after the bell. Both these guys are up.
From this point on, Tyson's rage became irrational. In both the 9th and 10th rounds, Mike had points deducted for low blows. This raised doubts about Tyson's ability to win on the judges' scorecards.
Uppercut, 2 nice uppercuts by Ruddock. Oh, low blow, close lane, and that cost him 1 point.
Ruddock showed great resilience by finishing the fight standing, and with the sound of the final bell, there was nothing more to add.
But I think he's ahead. So don't go away. This is heavyweight action at its best. Not many. Certainly not many. A good hammering right hand. And then Ruddock answered with a low blow as the bell sounds.
When the announcer took the center of the ring, Mike's continued aggressiveness was the key asset that secured his victory by unanimous decision from the judges. Mike Tyson versus Trevor Berbick. Back in 1986, when Iron Mike was still a freshly oiled young knockout machine, Trevor Berbick was not one to withstand his power for long. On November 22nd, in the ring at the Las Vegas Hilton, Berbick was set to defend his WBC heavyweight title for the first time. Unfortunately, with none other than Mills Lane as a witness, he was unsuccessful. Fight summary. From the opening bell, Mike came out of his corner like a predator ready to give it all for his prey, and in this case, Trevor wasn't his prey. The title was.
Jab in the face. Tyson will come right through him. Tyson with a poor fight plan. Oh, the right hand gets him behind. You get the idea that Mike, as soon as, right hand, but the left hooks him, flips him with the left hand. Look at this, combination, and Berbick ready to go, but he stays on his feet. Again he's gone, catches him with a foot. Trevor's ready.
Berbick was just an obstacle between him and his goal, and Mike knew what had to be done to remove him. Learning what he needed about his opponent during the first round, while attacking to reaffirm his stance as the challenger, the real damage came in the second round. With a series of punches ending with a left hook, Tyson, the young knockout machine, dropped Berbick to the canvas. Like an inanimate object, the soon-to-be ex-champion fell flat on his back, but quickly rose and, with a signal, assured Lane that he was well enough to continue. However, he wasn't. When the fight resumed, Berbick tried to tie Tyson up in clinches to stop his lethal offensive. In one break, he even earned himself a warning from Lane after landing a cheap shot. These were just his dying kicks. The end ironically came at the end of the round. A deadly left hook from Tyson struck Berbick's temple, and after a delayed reaction, he fell once more. Berbick tried to stand up but couldn't.
Heavyweight champions of all time. Bangs the body. Wow, that uppercut is Tyson. Catches him with a left hook, and he was down!
His efforts resembled a genuine Dantean scene as Lane reached the end of the count. Surprisingly, at the count of 9, Berbick dared to tempt fate and stand up. Yet, after a quick glance, Lane knew. It was just an involuntary reflex of his fighting spirit. After an embrace, Lane saved his life by stopping the fight. With this, Iron Mike made history by becoming the youngest heavyweight champion ever. If you've made it this far, thank you. Remember, the best way to support my content is by leaving a like on the video. Which of these historic demonstrations of Mike Tyson's legendary power was your favorite? Which other one do you think I should include in a second part of this video? I'll be reading your comments.